This is a story about a woman who thought she could sell my childhood to the highest bidder, and the Christmas Eve gift I gave her that she'll never be able to return. My name is Mara. For 28 years, Christmas wasn't just a holiday in our family, it was a sanctuary. It lived in a battered blue trunk in my grandmother Evelyn's attic, a collection of hand-painted porcelain ornaments, a silver-plated music box that played Silent Night with a slight, haunting hitch in the gears, and a 1920s lace tablecloth that smelled permanently of lavender and peppermint. When Evelyn passed away last November, the light in our family didn't just dim, it went out. But I didn't realize it while I was grieving. A vulture was already circling the nest. Before we get into the cold-blooded betrayal and the trap I set to fix it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It helps me share these stories of justice with the world, and you won't want to miss what happens next. My Aunt Beatrice is the kind of woman who treats life like a ledger. She doesn't have friends. She has strategic partners. She doesn't have a family. She has assets. She was Evelyn's oldest daughter, and she had spent the last decade complaining that the old house was a money pit and that Evelyn's clutter was a fire hazard. The week after the funeral, while I was still waking up with tears in my eyes, Beatrice called me. Her voice was that practiced, airy tone she used when she was about to do something terrible. "Mara, darling," she sighed into the phone, "I've taken the liberty of handling the estate clearing. It's just too much for your mother to deal with, and you're so busy with your little job. I've hired a service to haul away the debris. The house needs to be staged for sale by the new year." My heart stopped. The debris? Beatrice, the attic, the blue trunk. Grandma's will said the personal effects were to be divided between the grandchildren. "Oh, Mara," she chuckled, and it sounded like dry leaves skittering on a grave. "That trunk was full of mildewed junk, broken glass, and stained rags. I had it all hauled to the dump. It's gone, dear. Better to start fresh, don't you think? Focus on the future." I spent 3 days at the local landfill, begging the operators to let me look. I waded through filth in the freezing rain, desperate to find even one ornament. I found nothing. I went home and mourned a second death, the death of my history. Beatrice sold the house within 3 weeks, pocketed her share of the inheritance, and moved to a high-rise in the city, cutting off contact with everyone. She said we were too emotional and stuck in the past. Then came December. I was sitting in my apartment, trying to force myself to decorate a plastic tree I'd bought at a drugstore. It felt wrong. It felt empty. On a whim, I opened eBay. I was looking for a replacement for the gilded angel, the centerpiece of Evelyn's collection. It was a one-of-a-kind piece Evelyn's father had brought back from Germany after the war. I typed in antique German angel ornament, hand-painted porcelain. The first result made the blood turn to ice in my veins. The photo was crisp, taken on a professional white background. It was the angel. I knew it because of the tiny, microscopic chip on the left wing that I'd caused when I was 6 years old. I clicked on the seller's profile, the curated legacy. I scrolled through the listings, my breath hitched. There was the silver music box. There were the porcelain carolers. There was the lace tablecloth, described as museum-quality Victorian linen. Beatrice hadn't thrown anything away. She had stolen it. She had lied to our faces about the dump so she wouldn't have to split the proceeds of a high-end estate sale with the rest of the family. She was selling my grandmother's soul for $400 apiece. I didn't call her. I didn't scream. I remembered what Evelyn always said: when you're dealing with a fox, don't bark, just build a better fence. I called my friend Elias. He's a corporate lawyer with a streak of mischief and a deep love for my grandmother's ginger cookies. I told him everything. She lied about the destruction of property to bypass the probate of the will, Elias said, his voice dropping into that low, dangerous legal register. That's not just mean, Mara, that's fraud. And since she's using a third-party marketplace to sell stolen goods across state lines, that's a whole different level of trouble. I don't just want her in trouble, I said, staring at the screen where the music box sat at a buy now price of $1,200. I want it all back, every single thread. Then we need a sting, Elias said, and we need it to happen before Christmas. We spent the next week meticulously documenting everything. I found photos of the items in Evelyn's house from years of Christmases past. I matched every scratch, every unique pattern. We had the will, which clearly stated that all holiday decorations and personal sentimental effects were to be bequeathed to the grandchildren, specifically naming me as the executor of that sub-collection. I messaged the curated legacy. I am an interior designer for a high-end boutique hotel, I wrote. We are doing a Century of Christmas theme. I want to buy your entire inventory, every listing you have. I'm prepared to pay a premium for a bulk, off-platform cash transaction to avoid the fees. I can meet you on December 24th for a private pickup. I need the items for a gala on the 25th. Beatrice bit the hook so hard I could almost hear the snap. She messaged back within 10 minutes. She was ecstatic. The total value of the inventory was close to $35,000. For her, it was the ultimate score. She agreed to meet the buyer at a private storage facility she rented near the docks, a neutral ground, she called it. She didn't want a stranger at her penthouse. Christmas Eve arrived. The city was covered in a thick, silent blanket of snow. I met Elias and two plainclothes officers from the precinct's white-collar crime unit in a parking lot 3 blocks from the storage unit. "You ready?" the officer, a stern woman named Detective Miller, asked. "I've been ready since she told me my memories were in a landfill," I said. I drove into the storage complex alone. Beatrice was standing outside Unit 402, wearing a white faux fur coat and holding a designer handbag. She looked like she was posing for a magazine. She didn't recognize my car. I'd borrowed a sleek black SUV from Elias to play the part of the wealthy designer. I pulled up, put on a wide-brimmed hat and oversized sunglasses, and stepped out. "Merry Christmas," Beatrice chirped, her face tight with a Botox-assisted smile. "I must be the collector. I have everything packed in acid-free paper just as we discussed." I didn't say a word. I walked past her into the unit. The blue trunk was there. She hadn't even bothered to take them out of Evelyn's old trunk. She had just put the whole thing inside a bigger cardboard box. Seeing that blue wood, scuffed at the corners, made my vision blur with rage. "Is there a problem?" Beatrice asked, her voice sharpening. "The wire transfer hasn't come through yet. I told you, cash or wire before the goods leave my sight." I turned around and took off the sunglasses. The color didn't just leave Beatrice's face. It looked like her soul retreated into her shoes. She gasped, her hand flying to her throat. "Mara," she stammered, What are you doing here? How did you find? I told you I hauled this away. I must have made a mistake. I found another trunk in the basement and—" "Save it, Beatrice," I said. "I've watched every single listing go up. I've tracked every serial number on the silver. I've had a Claus account talking to you for 10 days. Beatrice's eyes darted to the door, but Elias and the two detectives were already stepping into the light of the unit. "Beatrice Vane," Detective Miller said, holding up her badge. "We are here regarding the fraudulent sale of estate assets and the theft of property from the Evelyn Vane Trust." "Theft?" Beatrice shrieked, her voice hitting a glass-shattering pitch. "I am the daughter. I am the executor of the real estate. I have every right to clear the clutter." "You don't have the right to lie to the probate court," Elias said, stepping forward with a sheaf of papers. "You signed a sworn affidavit stating these items were destroyed or of zero value. By listing them for $35,000, you've provided the state with the exact appraisal of your own fraud. This is a felony, Beatrice." Beatrice looked at the trunk, then at the handcuffs on Miller's belt. She started to cry, not the cry of someone who was sorry, but the ugly, panicked wail of a person who had finally been caught. "Mara, please," she hissed, reaching for my arm. "We're family. Think of the scandal. I'll give it back. I'll give you all of it. Just tell them it was a misunderstanding. I was cleaning them for you. Yes, that's it. I was restoring them." "You were restoring them on eBay for $1,200? I asked. I walked over to the blue trunk and ran my hand over the lid. "You told me this was in a dump. You let me spend 3 days in the rain looking for my grandmother's ghost while you were taking professional photos of her angel." "I needed the money," she screamed. "The penthouse, the fees. You don't know what it's like to maintain a certain lifestyle." "I know what it's like to maintain a legacy," I said, "and you're no longer a part of ours." The detectives took her away. She didn't go quietly. She was still screaming about her rights as her heels clicked across the cold concrete of the storage facility. Elias helped me load the blue trunk into the back of the SUV. We drove back to my mother's house. When I walked through the door, my mother was sitting by a bare tree looking at old photos. I didn't say anything. I just pushed the blue trunk into the living room. The look on her face when she opened that lid was the only Christmas present I ever needed. We spent the night hanging the porcelain carolers and the gilded angel. We spread the lavender-scented lace over the table. The silver music box played Silent Night, and for the first time in a year, the hitch in the gears sounded like a heartbeat. Beatrice didn't go to prison. Elias worked out a deal where she had to return every cent she'd already made from the sold items, pay a massive fine to the estate, and sign a document surrendering any further claim to family assets. She's living in a tiny studio now, far from the strategic partners who dropped her the moment the scandal hit the local papers. That Christmas Eve, I realized that some ghosts don't come to haunt you. They come to help you find the way home. My grandmother wasn't in the ornaments, but she was in the strength it took to take them back. As the sun rose on Christmas morning, the angel on top of the tree caught the light, its chipped wing glowing like a badge of honor. We weren't a perfect family, and we weren't a wealthy one anymore, but we were a whole one. If you enjoyed this story of a Christmas sting, don't forget to like this video and share your own stories of family justice in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We have more stories of revenge and redemption coming your way all through the new year. Whose rules would you live by if your family tried to sell your past? I chose mine, and I've never slept better. Merry Christmas.